Now, if I didn't know any better, I'd say that you're looking at running for president.
Do it. Do it. Look at me. Do it. I will personally write you a campaign check now on behalf of this country, which does not want you to be president, but which badly wants you to run.
I am officially running for President of the United States, and we are going to make our country great again.
There's not going to be a President Donald Trump.
I think that man will be president of the United States right about the time that spaceships come down filled with dinosaurs and red cake.
Donald Trump has been saying that he will run for president as a Republican, which is surprising since I just assumed he was running as a joke.
Donald Trump will not become president.
I continue to believe Mr. Trump will not be president.
Donald Trump will never, ever be president.
Moderator, but apparently believes that Donald Trump is a clown.
President Obama will go down as perhaps the worst president in the history of the United States! Exclamation point at real Donald Trump. Well, at real Donald Trump, at least I will go down as a president.
You're never going to be president of the United States by insulting your way to the
Let's see, I'm at 42 and you're at 3.
We have a key race alert right now. Donald Trump now has reached the number of delegates needed to clinch the Republican presidential nomination.
So right now, Mr. Trump, to answer your call for political honesty, I just want to say you're not going to be president, all right? It's been fun. It's been great. I love you. But come on, buddy.
Donald Trump, while we project, will win in Kentucky with its 8th electoral vote, in Indiana with its 11th electoral vote, West Virginia, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Mississippi, South Carolina, Alabama, Kansas with its 6 electoral votes, Nebraska with its 5 electoral votes, and Wyoming with its 3 electoral votes, North Dakota with its 3 electoral votes, and South Dakota, Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, the state of Montana, Missouri, Ohio, Idaho, North Carolina.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear.
Together, we will make America great again.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome into an early CobraCast 199. I am your host, Jeremy Prime, Mage IDOT Unit 199. Happy to see all of you here on a Saturday. And boy, oh boy, do we have a lot to talk about. Holy crap, man. Like, dude, Trump is literally Batman. Trump is literally Batman. And last night, I was awake when it happened, and I almost went live. I can't believe what we witnessed. And here you have, 45, 47, and 48, here with Maduro. And that is an official picture. Obviously, it's been memed, but that is the official picture of him. From what I understand, there's so much shit going on right now on social media, so I'm trying to filter through all of it. But last night, United States of America carried out air attacks on Venezuela, and the virtue signaling was out of control. And listen, this is what I'm learning about. There's people that always try and hijack something to make it something that it's not. I would consider myself very much anti-war. I am an anti-war person. I don't want the United States in endless wars, endless nonsensical wars. I don't want United States service members dying for the interest of powerful politicians and all of that. And I've been pretty consistent over the years about that. But what we're seeing is that there's a lot of pussies and losers that every time the United States under Trump makes any type of decision that is meant to protect or Secure America, these pussies get online and start crying about, I thought no new wars. I can't believe we're doing this. They're a bunch of fucking pussies that don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And it's all a big virtue signal. It's all a bunch of John Lennon singing Imagine, commie bullshit losers. I really want to say the F slur right now because that's what these motherfuckers are. And they get on social media and they cry and they whine because they're little bitches that have been raised by this pussified generation. And I saw so much of that last night. I thought no new wars. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Go listen to John Lennon and his commie bullshit. All right. Your peace, love, and happiness hippie bullshit, and fuck off. All right. This is grown man shit happening, going on. We don't need a bunch of pussies crying. So anyway, with that said, this is the difference in President Trump and an actual warmonger. George W. Bush needed 170,000 troops that led to over 4,400 U.S. military casualties in an 8-year war in order to capture Saddam Hussein. President Trump captured Maduro while we were sleeping overnight with 0 casualties. And all of these pathetic losers are online last night crying, I voted for no new war. What is this? How dare President Trump do this? It's pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. Is that Ron Weasley with Saddam Hussein? I still have a cough. Now, the other interesting thing is that the nothing ever happens crowd suddenly cries all the time when something happens. So here's how the nothing ever happens crowd goes. Nothing ever happens. Something happens. They cry about the something that happens. They cry and whine and screech. And then the next day they go back to saying nothing ever happens. And then you repeat the cycle. Nothing ever happens. Something happens. They cry about the something that happens. Then they go back to saying nothing ever happens. Rinse and repeat over and over and over again. Every fucking time. Basically, we're talking about DeSantis bros and libertarians. Pussies. All right? That's what we're talking about. But yeah, so we've got President Trump going live any minute now, and he is going to address all of this. Now, President Trump was on Fox News this morning. And let me see if I can get caught up on this feed here, because I am looking at the feed right now to make sure I don't miss when President Trump goes live. But President Trump's statement last night was the United States of America has successfully carried out a large attack or a large strike against Venezuela and its leader, President Maduro, who has been, along with his wife, captured and flown out of the country. This operation was done in conjunction with U.S. law enforcement. Details will follow. There will be a news conference today at 11 a.m. at Mar-a-Lago. Thank you for your attention to this matter. President Donald J. Trump. Holy crap, man. I mean, this is like the Dark Knight. Remember the Dark Knight when Batman went over there, got loud? It was Trump is Batman. President Trump is literally Batman. Holy crap, man. Absolutely awesome. So right here, here's President Trump on Fox News this morning. Hopefully you can hear it.
I've never seen anything like this. I was able to watch it in real time, and I watched every aspect of it, and I listened to the communication between, where we were in Florida and out in the field in Venezuela. And it was amazing to see the professionalism, the quality of leadership, the professionalism. General Raisin Kane is fantastic. Don't forget, we did another one not so long ago. It was called the knocking out of the Iranian nuclear threat, the nuclear power. And that was unbelievable what they did there. And this is something that, I don't know, it's amazing. And to have a few injuries, but no death on our side is really amazing. I've never seen.
So we got this right here. This is according to reports. I don't know if this has been confirmed. Maduro and his wife were literally dragged out of their bedroom. CNN reported this, citing two sources familiar with the situation. The couple was captured in the middle of the night while Maduro and his wife were asleep. Reminder, the operation carried out by the U.S. Army's elite Delta Force was conducted with no American casualties. 0 American casualties. Absolutely beautiful to see. Now, again, I don't know if that's actually true or not. That's CNN's garbage reporting, so there's no telling if that was actually true. But this is a confirmed picture, though, of them arresting Maduro right here. From what I understand, this is a real picture. I could be wrong, but it looks legit to me. So let's see right here. Now, you've already got the New York Times is calling Donald Trump's attack on Venezuela illegal and unwise. Because of course you're going to have them crying about it. So get ready for a lot of that today. It's going to be a ton of crying and whining. Let's see. So is this a real picture? Official photo of Maduro after being captured. They took him in his pajamas. Again, I don't know. It's so impossible to tell what's real and what's not on social media right now. But I think, is Trump live? Fuck. No, not yet. Let's see. Let me just pull the feed up that I have. Okay.
The Venezuelan government denounced the alleged attack as an aggression from the U.S. and a violation of the United Nations Charter. The New York Post also reporting the 63-year-old Maduro, who has held power in Venezuela for 13 years, has been charged with narco-terrorism by the United States. On Friday, Maduro met with a special envoy for Chinese President Xi Jinping at the presidential palace in Caracas to reaffirm ties with China amid tensions with the United States. The Colombian president also chimed in, according to the Post. Gustavo Petro claimed his neighboring country was attacked and called for a meeting between the Organization of American States, the OAS, and the UN. The president of Colombia said, quote, right now they are bombing Caracas. Alert to the whole world. They have attacked Venezuela. Petro wrote on X earlier this morning. They are bombing with missiles. The OAS and the UN must meet immediately. And again, as you know, the U.S. military has carried out drone strikes off the Venezuelan coast on suspected drug smuggling boats. And, you know, we've seen that over the past several months. And this all started, you know, you think about it, January 21st, when it comes to President Trump's second term, the start of it. And that was one of the first things out of the gate that we saw was this national emergency along the southern border.
All right, so
the border has since been closed.
Let me get a couple of these chats really quick. JMNZZ450 says, Secretary of War, what's on the agenda for today, Mr. President? Trump, oh, I don't know. Let's make that kick-ass scene from Air Force One a reality. Secretary of War, that's my president. Hell yeah, baby. It's beautiful, man. It's absolutely crazy. Let's see here. Zitty Biscuit says, on the 10th day of Christmas, the president gave to us one less dictator. Merry Christmas and happy 250. Love y'all. Thank you, Zinny Biscuit. Andrew CR for whatever your currency is. Says, Jeremy, this happened at like 3 a.m. Why were you sleeping? Unfortunately, I wasn't sleeping. I was up till like 5 a.m., 6 a.m. following all this shit. Let's see. Mifungo. I think, I don't know how to fuck say your name. I am Venezuela and I approve of Trump's actions. Thank you for your attention to this matter. And thank you to all the Americans except the libtards and the cuck libertarians. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you, brother. And yeah, man, President Trump is the greatest president in history. It's not even close. This dude is next level. I can't wait to hear what he's got to say. I can't wait to hear him take questions here. We're getting very, very close. So it's going to be a fascinating press conference. Nandy for 50 says, while the world plays checkers, Trump's playing chess. Venezuela sends oil to Iran, an ally of Russia. So now both Russia and Iran will have to come to the table and bow to Daddy Trump. He is absolutely playing checkers. Or he is absolutely playing chess while they're playing checkers. Absolutely. Thank you so much. I hope Trump slings all the insults. I do too. I doubt he will, but you never know how fired up he's going to be. Antonia says Venezuela's in Florida are going to be partying for days. Bill Herb says Trump using strength to create peace. He's been at nothing but consistent with that. No fucking no fucking around, just business. And that's exactly what was done with Venezuela and Maduro. FAFO. Marine Rebel says Ole Miss beats UGA. Maduro gets taken into custody. What a weekend. I love America. Hotty toddy. I'm glad they honestly, like, obviously Alabama got completely annihilated against Indiana. Congratulations to Indiana. I kind of hope they did us a favor because now maybe we can just fire DeBoer and get Saban back. That's not going to happen, by the way, but that's my only hope. My only hope is that we just fire DeBoer and bring Saban back, but not going to happen. Bill Herb says, talk about FAFO. Honestly, it was crazy seeing it in real time. Helicopters being reported. Then like an hour later, Maduro already captured. Hilarious. Stood no real chance. The U.S. swept 100%. Operation says, can someone please explain to me why he is attacking Venezuela in the first place? I know there was tension, but I never really got into it. Can someone fill me in? What am I missing? There's a bunch of layers to it, so it's not specific. He's been warning Maduro. There's, Trump has talked about the cartel, the drug element. There's the situation with Russia and China that's tied to this. There's he's not even a legitimate leader. Stolen elections, things like so. There's a lot to this. It's not one simple reason that this happened, but he didn't attack Venezuela. From what I understand, and again, I don't know if this has been confirmed or not, a lot of that was diversion. The attacks that were taken out on military facilities, from what I understand. Again, I don't know if that's been confirmed or not, but I think these were just military facilities. But this was meant to basically free Venezuela, not attack them, even though the media is going to frame it from that perspective. But also, if you look at all of the drugs and everything that's been poured into this country, this is meant to free the United States of America too. Let's see. Asha says that this was the biggest FU and flex to the communist Mamdani and the socialist in New York as their socialist idol. Maduro is being shipped there in chains. Greatest president of all time. So if you're just tuning in, we are waiting for President Trump to go live and hold this press conference talking about the capture of Venezuela's President Maduro. Last night around 2 a.m., maybe 3 a.m. Eastern, I'm not sure exactly. We got reports that, that the United States has dropped air attacks on Venezuela. A lot of emotional reaction from a lot of emotionally broken people because that's what happens on social media. I mean, notice I didn't get up there and start tweeting because I was like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what the plan is. I'm not going to pretend that I know, but you have a lot of emotionally broken people start tweeting, and virtue signaling and crying. Oh my God, this is so horrible. Can't believe Trump is doing this. And guess what? Guess what? Not long after that, suddenly, it's announced that we have captured Maduro and flown him and his wife out of the country. And everybody's like, wait, what? Wait a minute. I was too busy virtue signaling, crying about no new wars. I was too busy virtue signaling about something I have no idea what the fuck's going on. But while I was virtue signaling and pretending that I care about something, President Trump had this whole other plan in place. And now I don't know what to do. That's essentially what Twitter was last night. A bunch of losers virtue signaling off of something they had no idea what was going on. They had no idea. Greg says he didn't get congressional approval, lol. Can you tell me the last time we got congressional approval, Greg? Can you tell me what date the last time that the United States got congressional approval for any type of foreign involvement? Can you please tell me when that was, you stupid fuck? Go ahead. Go ahead. I'll wait, because you probably need to Google the fucking answer, retard. Well, you saw that tweet and did no research? You did no fucking research. You just saw someone tweet that shit and pretended like you knew what the fuck you were talking about. What a fucking loser. Go ahead, Google it. Go ahead and get your fucking answer, loser. Because you clearly don't know what the fuck you're talking about, but you can go ahead and continue virtue signaling like you care when you have no idea what you're talking about, no understanding of what you're talking about. Good Lord, these people are retarded. Ryan Miller says, we're not even a week into 2026 as President Trump has executed a flawless operation, and I'm waiting for the Dems, the left, and the media to spin this and have a meltdown over the operation. Yep. Carrie O says, hey, Jeremy, this is Iridium X Games. I'm just curious if you've had a chance to check out the business proposal email I've sent. America is back, baby. Hail the 199. I know you sent it. I was sick as hell for like the last week and a half. And then I had family stuff that I was trying to catch up on. So I will check it out, though, man. I will check it out. Splice Stream says, I'm conflicted on this. One hand, this solves a lot of problems, but I don't like the international adventurism. I think I'm mostly in favor, but I worry we are taking our eyes off domestic ball a lot. Well, I think that this ties into domestic far more than you're giving it credit for. And I think that that's what a lot of people are missing. I think that this ties into that. Laughing Heifer says, God bless you guys. God bless the chat. I got some exciting things going on. So maybe I could show you once it gets done. I'm glad this happened. This is what we got. Let's see. Glad this happened, that we got this communication. I'm just a little frustrated. Thank you, Laughing Haffron. Looking forward to seeing what you got going on, man. Tim Riggs says, Biden year one gave us the disastrous Afghan withdrawal. Trump year one erased Iran's enrichment program from the planet, or from the plant, and now has seized Maduro in the most delightfully disrespectful way I can think of. It is glorious. Tsunami for 20 says, Greg is gay. Sorry, your dad went for Noops. Cobra, go Trump. Now do internal problems. Well, one thing this does tell us is, like, for all of the complaints that we have about what's going on here domestically, this shows you how quickly Trump can actually turn up the pressure and handle problems. Now, one of the weird things is that there's so much red tape involved with things that he needs to do in this country. There's so much red tape that is involved in it. I mean, we see it all the time. Trump just executed this flawless plan, the removal of Maduro, within hours. Yet every time he makes a decision here in the United States of America, you have some left-wing activist judge reversing or blocking his decisions. And it shows you the internal problem within the United States. Now, you have a bunch of emotionally broken people that don't know that that's going on, because all they think is, oh, well, Trump needs to do X, Y, and Z. Well, there's a lot of red tape and bullshit. This is what Elon Musk was talking about when Elon stepped away from Doge and stepped away from his, government job. He basically said, like, it's so broken that I don't know if it can ever be fixed. I don't know if it can ever be fixed. How broken the government is. The system is so broken. And Trump is constantly facing problems and within his own country. Somebody says I didn't vote for regime change. Shut the fuck up. You don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. I didn't vote for regime change. You don't know what the fuck you're even talking about. You saw that on Twitter and repeated it in my comment section. You don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. Regime change. You don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. You just saw Dave fucking Smith talk about it, and you decided to repeat it in my comment section. Good God. So many dumb motherfuckers, dude. Gremlin says, I don't know which is funnier, the fact that Trump did this and the libtards are crying about it, or the fact that Venezuela people are praising it as the libtards are crying about it. Exactly my point. Jeremy has turned into a shill. Motherfucker, I've been a shill for Trump for the last 10 years. So the fact that you said I just turned into a shill means you don't know what the fuck you're talking about either. Okay? Jeremy turned into a shill. I've always been a shill for Trump. Again, what did you think? You thought me and you were on the same page? Do you think you could just like, oh, wow, this Jeremy guy speaks for me. He speaks for me. No, I didn't. I never did. Shut the fuck up. Let's see here. So again, a lot of emotionally broken people today. Laughing Heifer for 10 says, why the hell haven't we got the fraud that's been going on here? These people here and committing fraud. All these people in Minnesota need to be arrested and need to be deported. Again, I don't disagree, but I just addressed that. If you have a problem with things not getting done in this country, go deal with the leftist judges, the activist judges that were appointed by Obama and Biden that continue to block Trump in every way possible. Clearly, Trump has, look at how many things have been reversed by Obama judges and Biden judges and even Clinton judges. Look how many. Been a ton. And so look at how many decisions Trump has made that's been reversed in his own country. It shows you how broken the system is within the United States of America, especially when you have blue-run cities and blue-run states. Samsung says, I voted for a regime change at CobraCast. Overthrow Jeremy. Dude, I would say I could use the time off, but I've taken a lot of time off recently because I was sick. But I could use more time off, so I would be okay with that. Vader Mike says, shield tax, hail the 199. Thank you. Slow Goes Mobile says, this so-called president of Venezuela lost the election in a huge margin, and he took control of the cartels to oppress the citizen and starve them to keep power. But you know, Trump is the bad guy, though. Don't tell these losers that are crying about Trump about this, because they didn't vote for regime change. They didn't vote to take out the cartel and keep drugs out of America. Yes, you fucking did. What are you talking about? Trump talked about this in the lead up to the election in 2024. How stupid are you? What did you vote for if you didn't vote for Trump doing his job? Good Lord. Again, people see something from their favorite, political commentator. I say that very loosely, by the way. And then just repeat it. They don't even know what the fuck they're talking about. Let's see. Operations, thanks for explaining. My 2 cents worth is that this may also be a warning to Iranian regime that they are not immune, especially with the situation there. Oh, I agree. Completely. Darth Manic says, this is exactly the type of stuff I voted for. God bless Donald J. Trump. God bless the U.S. military, and God bless America. Alan Tanasi says, I got to give, give blanket refugee status to all the hot Venezuelan women. Hail the 199. Happy New Year. I support this. By the way, okay, you guys, a lot of you are crying saying Trump has no ties to Venezuela. Trump has no connection. Oh, really? Would you like me to prove you wrong? Okay. Trump has always, and I mean always, cared about Venezuela. Okay. Trump has always cared. There you have it. Confirmed, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Trump has always cared. He's always been a big fan. He's always been a supporter. There you have it. Okay. Boom. All right, back to this. I don't even know if that picture's real. I just saw it going around on social media. Now, I saw this, okay, and I'm still like there's so much news out there, but this was posted at 10:29 p.m. last night. Now, the air attacks started around 2 or 3. This was posted at 10:29 p.m. Chinese officials arrive in Venezuela for talks with President Maduro. What? This is crazy, dude. Like, this is next level shit, all right? This was at 10:29 p.m. This was reported. A few hours later is when the attacks went down. I didn't vote for this. People in the chat, I didn't vote for Trump to be a powerful leader. Good Lord. Libertarians are the worst. They truly are. Let's see here. I am Brockatron says, leave it to Trump to plan a precise op like this and leave it to the left to defend a socialist dictator. They only believe in opposition of Trump. That is true. Little Jim Taylor says, we embarrass a lot of people today. China leftists and media are going to come out and defend a dictator. Fuck around, find out. God, Emperor Trump. VJ the Vigil says, Trump starting 2026 with a bang. Still like a Vigil says, I tagged you in a meme I made. Be blessed. Noted. Vlad Damas says, I enjoy leering about something. Philip Butler says, Mossad didn't tell you this was happening. Maybe they did. Maybe they didn't. Maybe they did. I can't repeat it. I cannot repeat it. Patriotic Eagle says, I saw a tweet saying, Dear Lake and Riley, we got the SOB who let your killer into our country, and that hit me hard. Damn. That's deep right there. Hell yeah. Giggles and Bits says, it's a beautiful day in Russia, Iran, and China are doing a reassessment of their military capabilities against the U.S. of A. Philip Butler says, Maduro is lucky to be alive. Colombia and Mexico next. Gerald Armstrong says, see Putin. This is how you do special military operation. Retro V Gamer says, and our troops won't be allowed to collect the bounty. Over on Rumble, Audimus Prime says, in the words of Javier Milei, afuera. That's the J's way of saying it. Mexi Rage says, now he needs to do this in Minnesota and arrest them. Again, he can't just do you understand how much red tape is involved in that shit? Trump can't just walk into Minnesota and arrest people because there's so much red tape involved. That's the problem. It's a Democrat government. It's a Democrat city. And all that's going to happen is you get blocked every step of the way. You guys think that Trump can just let's just go arrest everybody. That's not how it works in the United States of America. There's a lot of bullshit that goes along with it. He just can't just go in there and Trump just can't arrest people. I know that's what people want, but that's just not how it, they literally almost put Trump in prison because they found all of these loopholes that they tried to get him on and it all backfired on him. But look how much it slowed the process down. Chad for $2. Thank you. Bubba Doom says, I'm wondering if this news gave any folks here cold sweats thinking of Venezuela having ties to certain voting machines. Chad says, isn't the Delta Force the Marines? Ehab says 2026 off with a bang. Autos Prime got that one here too. The Culture Casino says citizens are celebrating. I think the other garbage states in the region are going to be forced to fly right for the fear of their citizens. Andrew Zero says, I saw reports that the team that captured Maduro was the Power Rangers. Hopefully that was the G.I. Joe team. That'd make me happy. Gremlin says, oh, never mind. I forgot the fact that Trump hit Hugo Chavez gravesite as a middle finger to the commies on the way. That was funnier. Yeah, I mean, the same people that are crying about this now, no, Delta Force is not the Marines. I don't know if he was memeing on that or not, but Delta Force is the Army. So it's special operations for the Army. So, if you're just tuning in, we are currently waiting for President Donald J. Trump to go live at Mar-a-Lago to address what happened last night with the insane Batman level operation that he conducted. And boy, oh boy, it was It was something. Let's see here. Now, of course, hey, all of you losers that are crying about Trump, guess what? Your favorite politician is talking. AOC is tweeting. So this is your person right here. So I'm sure you can go ahead and jump on that tweet. That she speaks for you, okay? She speaks for you. All right. So there you have it. AOC, that's the person that speaks for you. Dan Vass says, now do Brazil. Dan Vass for 50. Not really, but now do Brazil. See? Everybody wants Trump to just go take over and clean house everywhere. Everybody loves Donald Trump. Everybody. It's beautiful. Look at this right here. Look at this. While we're waiting for Trump, Venezuelans in Florida break down in tears, celebrate at a gas station after U.S. military captured Venezuela dictator. Let's see. Here we go.
No ha parado de llorar desde que llegó. Viene en pijama, como lo pueden ver, todavía ella está. Cuénteme un poco su reacción. Cuénteme un poco qué siente en este momento.
Esto no tiene comparación. Gracias, Dios mío. Gracias, Dios. Me arrodillé y lloré en mi casa por él. Es un milagro. Salimos.
Muchas gracias. Por aquí también vemos parte de la juventud venezolana en lágrimas porque hace rato sonaba una canción en la que todos nos pusimos prácticamente a llorar aquí en el arepaso del Dorado.
But hey, look, man, there's a person in the chat that's telling everyone how horrible Trump is for doing this, yet the people that are actually affected are celebrating this.
Mucha emoción, el ambiente es impresionante y el ambiente te cautiva y uno estar en el momento y tener esto como una experiencia única.
Everyone is celebrating. Well, you know, the libertarians, I didn't vote for no war. Oh, gosh. Trump just posted 4 minutes ago, just posted this right here. Holy crap. Trump just posted this to True Social. Trump is a savage, dude. Oh my God, man. Trump is an absolute savage. Holy crap. Let's go. Greatest president of all time, and it's not even close. Not even over debate, man. It really isn't. So, let's see. JD Vance drops a truth nuke after President Trump's Maduro capture. Maduro is the newest person to find out that President Trump means what he says. President offered multiple off-ramps, and this is the key. This is the key. The president publicly offered multiple off-ramps. He offered it for going back to like what? The first one I remember is like October. But it was clear throughout the process the drug trafficking must stop and the stolen oil must be returned to the United States. And they didn't listen. Didn't listen. So Trump does what Trump does. He handles business. Simple as that. There was I think I have a video of when Trump like publicly basically said to Maduro. Let me see if I can find this one. So much. Is this it right here? Right here. This was back, I believe, in October.
Everything in his country, all the natural resources. He even recorded a message to you in English recently, offering mediation. What should we do in order to stop that?
He has offered everything. He's offered everything. You're right. You know why? Because he doesn't want to fuck around with the United States. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Oh, that was a little more recent, actually. I remember covering that. I don't remember when that was. That was maybe, I don't know. Let's see. Let me go to the original post. When was that? Okay, yeah, that was October. Okay, I'm right. So that was October. So, and he found out. He found out. He fucked around and he found out. Let me see. All right. We got GRG Project says, so far my weekend is going great. Got the 199 hoodie delivered. Awesome. And the Democrats are shrieking. Not a bad way to start 2026. Hail to you, brother. Let's see. Poseidon says, keep shilling for Trump. We love it, sir. Glad you are feeling better. To make an omelet, you got to break some eggs. If you voted for Trump, you have to give him room to do his job. I agree. And thank you. I'm still like got a lingering cough, but it's just part of it, man. But yeah, I'm feeling better. Sorry I didn't go live last night. I had family, stuff going on since I was not able to do anything for Christmas because I was sick as hell. But we're back now. That's all that matters. So, let's see. Jared Armstrong says that the right side guy is trying to look like Paul Joseph Watson with the map and the world in the background. That is what he's got, the Paul Joseph Watson background going on. I agree with that. Otto's Price says Marco Rubio is Venezuela's new president. Phil McCracken says, I woke up with liberals and libertarians upset today. I knew something good happened. Every time. John Jones says it took nearly 6 years, but we finally got justice for George Floyd. Hammer of Subtlety says I was at work in the middle of the night when the raid started. I should be asleep now, but here I am with you daywalkers enjoying the show. Hell yeah, let's go, man. I respect it. Let me see. Nikki Haley fan for 2 says you need to disavow Nick Fuentes right now. No. I'm not playing your gay games. Like, I've already said where I stand on Fuentes. I'm not a fan, but I think he's funny as hell. I can't control if people are stupid enough to listen to everything he says. Like, that's people's right. They can listen to him and Candace, and they can listen to Ian Carroll. People can listen to whoever they want. I can laugh at them for believing what these people say, but I think Fuentes is funny as shit. I think he's funny. I like laughing at him. I think he's got amazing comedic timing. But no, I don't disavow people. Fuck you. That's a gay leftist thing. Like, it's not my job to disavow people. It's your job to do better research. So, I mean, if you need me to disavow somebody for you to know that they're, what they are, well, then you're fucked. You're fucked already. If you're looking for a low quality, low rent YouTuber that begs for super chats like me to disavow a political commentator, you're fucked. You got no hope in life anyway. So so the fact that you said I need to disavow Nick Fuentes means I'll just promote Nick Fuentes now. Go check out Nick Fuentes, everyone. There. How's that for your disavow? Go fuck yourself. Cartman says, also illegal Venezuela asylum seekers now have no case. I don't know how you say your name, but there's a clip of Trump telling a kid he's Batman. I did see that. Yeah. Let's see. Kevin says, thanks. Trump thanks for saving millions of American lives lost to drugs. Now go get Tim Walz. Sydney Biscuit says, got George Washington's whiskey in my coffee. Woohoo. Sola Felix says, it's not anti-war, it's pro-peace. Big difference. Well, I mean, like, the reason I'm anti-war is I'm anti-war because of the standard in which war has taken place in my lifetime, especially under, with the warmongers known as the Bush family. But war has always been about business, not actual, protecting America. So you have, companies like Halliburton who have no bid contracts and things like that. You have companies that are on standby anytime the United States goes to war. They occupy these areas, and there's like billions and billions of dollars involved in that. That's always been why I'm so against war. I'm not against America protecting or preemptively protecting itself or doing things that need to be done. I'm against warmongers like George W. Bush and his dad, and what we've seen from people like that just going into a country, using our service members with their lives, taking them away from their families so that they can make a profit. That's it. Taker says, after Maduro was captured, he was quoted by saying, I don't like girls. But Brocatron says, Trump can help plan a deep, very secret, and very high-risk op in the most secure place, while Biden and his administration couldn't even leave Iran properly. Ministry of Wrong Think says, the ease at which Trump made this look proves Iran was a deliberate forever war scam. Let's LFG Trump. This is the embarrassment to the deep state deserves. Glitch Man Omega says, Dearborn is next. Emo says, I like girls. Chef George Ramirez says, that new sideshow Cobra Commander statue is sick. I haven't seen that one yet. By the way, if I can find it, give me a minute. I'll look and see if I can find it. So I made a video for Geeks and Gamers last night. I know it's been a long time. Okay. Been a long time. But I did make one. Let me see if I can find it. And somebody was complaining in the comments about it. Right here. So, yeah. If I can go find this. Okay. So this guy, I made a video for Geeks and Gamers. And this guy was really, really upset about me. So while we're waiting for this, so my Geeks and Gamers video right here, he's comments and he says, he's calling me like misogynist and all that. Thank you for the compliment. I appreciate that. But he says right here, he goes, this guy says, this seems personal to you, talking about the guy. He says, and it is personal to me. And people like Jeremy are a horrible influence on that community, even beyond movies and television. I would think anyone with any sense of right or wrong would watch this video and tell Jeremy he is in the wrong. Most of the video is literally just him complaining about women and LGBT characters in Stranger Things. This is coming from someone who's a straight white male. When watching Stranger Things 5, I thought the thought of Linda Hamilton's character should have been played by a man never entered my mind. That's the twisted lens that Jeremy and the rest of the crew view the world through. And whether they know it or not, they're training their audience to think the same way. So yes, it's personal. I do care. And there's nothing I'd love to see more than people like Jeremy get their due. Wonder what you mean by that. So there's nothing you would like to see more than people like Jeremy get their due. That sounds like a threat. That sounds like a threat. They're the epitome of what's wrong with the fandom and the internet. So I responded and I says, this comment has motivated me to make more videos for Geeks and Gamers. Thank you. So I do appreciate that. So because of your comment, I will be making more videos. Yeah, we'll handle it. There we go. All right. So, you guys are funny. Cellular Dream with the 199 super sticker. Thank you. Maxwell PT says, where are my breeds at? MAGA Mike says, God bless our boys. God bless Delta. God bless President Trump. Josh says at Panama night. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Boss is in the house.
Okay, thank you very much. This is big stuff.
Audio kind of sucks.
We appreciate you being here. Late last night and early today, at my direction, the United States Armed Forces conducted an extraordinary military operation in the capital of Venezuela. Overwhelming American military power, air, land, and sea, was used to launch a spectacular assault. And it was an assault like people have not seen since World War II. It was a force against a heavily fortified military fortress in the heart of Caracas to bring outlaw dictator Nicolas Maduro to justice. This was one of the most stunning, effective, and powerful displays of American military might and competence in American history. And if you think about it, we've done some other good ones like the attack on Soleimani, the attack on al-Baghdadi, and the obliteration and decimation of the Iran nuclear sites just recently in an operation known as Midnight Hammer, all perfectly executed and done. No nation in the world could achieve what America achieved yesterday, or frankly, in just a short period of time. All Venezuelan military capacities were rendered powerless as the men and women of our military, working with U.S. law enforcement, successfully captured Maduro in the dead of night. It was dark. The lights of Caracas were largely turned off due to a certain expertise that we have. It was dark and it was deadly. But captured along with his wife, Celia Flores, both of whom now face American justice. Maduro and Flores have been indicted in the Southern District of New York, Jay Clayton, for their campaign of deadly narco-terrorism against the United States and its citizens. I want to thank the men and women of our military who achieved such an extraordinary success overnight with breathtaking speed, power, precision, and competence. You rarely see anything like it. You've seen some raids in this country that didn't go so well. They were an embarrassment. If you look back to Afghanistan, or if you look back to the Jimmy Carter days, they were different days. We're a respected country again, maybe like never before. These highly trained warriors operating in collaboration with U.S. law enforcement caught them in a very ready position. They were waiting for us. They knew we had many ships out in the sea. We're just sort of waiting. They knew we were coming. So they were in what's called a ready position, but they were completely overwhelmed and very quickly incapacitated. If you would have seen what I saw last night, you would have been very impressed. I'm not sure that you'll ever get to see it, but it was an incredible thing to see. Not a single American service member was killed, and not a single piece of American equipment was lost. We had many helicopters, many planes, many people involved in that fight. But think of that, not one piece of military equipment was lost, not one service member was, more importantly, killed. The United States military is the strongest and most fearsome military on the planet by far, with capabilities and skills our enemies can scarcely begin to imagine. We have the best equipment anywhere in the world. There's no equipment like what we have. And you see that even if you just look at the boats. You know, we've knocked out 97% of the drugs coming in by sea. 90%. Each boat kills on average, 25,000 people. We knocked out 97%. And those drugs mostly come from a place called Venezuela. We're going to run the country until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition. So we don't want to be involved with having somebody else get in, and we have the same situation that we had for the last long period of years. So we are going to run the country until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition. And it has to be judicious because that's what we're all about. We want peace, liberty, and justice for the great people of Venezuela. And that includes many from Venezuela that are now living in the United States and want to go back to their country. It's their homeland. We can't take a chance that somebody else takes over Venezuela that doesn't have the good of the Venezuelan people in mind. We've had decades of that. We're not going to let that happen. We're there now, And what people don't understand, but they understand as I say this, we're there now, but we're going to stay until such time as the proper transition can take place. So we're going to stay until such time as we're going to run it essentially until such time as a proper transition can take place. As everyone knows, the oil business in Venezuela has been a bust, a total bust for a long period of time. They were pumping almost nothing by comparison to what they could have been pumping and what could have taken place. We're going to have our very large United States oil companies, the biggest anywhere in the world, go in, spend billions of dollars, fix the badly broken infrastructure, the oil infrastructure, and start making money for the country. And we are ready to stage a second and much larger attack if we need to do so. So we were prepared to do a second wave if we needed to do so. We actually assumed that a second wave would be necessary, but now it's probably not. The first wave, if you'd like to call it that, the first attack was so successful, we probably don't have to do a second, but we're prepared to do a second wave, a much bigger wave, actually. This was pinpoint, but we have a much bigger wave that probably won't have to do. This partnership of Venezuela with the United States of America, a country that everybody wants to be involved with because of what we were able to do and accomplish, will make the people of Venezuela rich, independent, and safe. And it will also make the many, many people from Venezuela that are living in the United States extremely happy. They suffered. They suffered. So much was taken from them. They're not going to suffer anymore. The illegitimate dictator Maduro was the kingpin of a vast criminal network responsible for trafficking colossal amounts of deadly and illicit drugs into the United States. As alleged in the indictment, he personally oversaw the vicious cartel known as Cartel de las Solas, which flooded our nation with lethal poison, responsible for the deaths of countless Americans, many, many Americans, hundreds of thousands over the years of Americans died because of him. Maduro and his wife will soon face the full might of American justice and stand trial on American soil. Right now, they're on a ship. They'll be heading to ultimately New York, and then a decision will be made, I assume, between New York and Miami or Florida. But we have people where the overwhelming evidence of their crimes will be presented in a court of law. And I've seen it. I've seen what we have. It's both horrible and breathtaking that something like this could have been allowed to take place. For many years after his term as president of Venezuela expired, Maduro remained in power and waged a ceaseless campaign of violence, terror, and subversion against the United States of America, threatening not only our people, but the stability of the entire region. And you all saw it. In addition to trafficking gigantic amounts of illegal drugs that inflicted untold suffering and human destruction all over the country, all over, in particular, the United States, Maduro sent savage and murderous gangs, including the bloodthirsty prison gang, Tren de Aragua, to terrorize American communities nationwide. And he did indeed. They were in Colorado. They took over apartment complexes. They cut the fingers off people if they call police. They were brutal, but they're not so brutal now. And I just have to congratulate our military, Pete and everybody, and our National Guard, because the job that they've done, whether it's in Washington, D.C., where we have a totally safe city, where it was one of the most unsafe cities anywhere in the world, frankly, and now we have no crime in Washington, D.C. We haven't had a killing. We had the terrorist attack a few weeks ago. A little bit of a different kind of a threat, but we haven't had a killing in a long period of time, 6, 7 months. We used to have two, on average, 2 a week in Washington, our capital. We don't have that anymore. The restaurants are opening. Everyone's happy. They're going, they're walking their daughters, they're walking their children, their wives, they walk to restaurants. Restaurants are opening all over Washington, D.C. So I want to thank the National Guard. I want to thank our military. And I want to thank law enforcement. It's been amazing. And they should do it with more cities. We're doing it, as you know, and we're doing it in Memphis, Tennessee right now. And crime is down. We've just sort of started a few weeks ago, but crime is down now 77%. And the governor of Louisiana called, great person, and he wanted us to help him, as you know, in a certain very nice part of Louisiana, and we have done that. It was a rough section, and we have crime down. I understand it's down to almost nothing already after 2.5 weeks. New Orleans, it's down to almost nothing, and we've only been there for 2.5 weeks. Can't imagine why governors wouldn't want us to help. We also helped, as you know, in Chicago. Then crime went down a little bit there. We did a very small help because we had no working ability with the governor. The governor was a disaster, and the mayor was a disaster. But it knocked down crime. But we're pulling out of there. When they need us, we'll know. You'll know. You'll be writing about it. And likewise, Los Angeles, where we saved Los Angeles early on, where the head of the police department made a statement that if the federal government didn't come in, we would have lost Los Angeles. That's long after the fires. That's when they had the riots in Los Angeles. We did a great job. Got no credit for it whatsoever, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. We don't need the credit. But we'll be pulling out when they need us. They'll call, or we'll go back if we have to. We'll go back. But we did a great job in various cities. But the place that we're very proud of is Washington, D.C., because it's our nation's capital. We took it from being a crime-ridden mess to being one of the safest cities in the country. But the gangs that they sent raped, tortured, and murdered American women and children. They were in all of the cities I mentioned, Tren de Aragua. And they were sent by Maduro to terrorize our people. And now Maduro will never again be able to threaten an American citizen or anybody from Venezuela. There will no longer be threats. For years, I've highlighted the stories of those innocent Americans whose lives were so heartlessly robbed by this Venezuelan terrorist organization. Really one of the worst. One of the worst. They say the worst. Americans like 12-year-old Jocelyn Nungary from Houston. Beautiful Jocelyn Nungary. What happened to her? They, as you know, they kidnapped, assaulted, and murdered by Tren de Aragua animals. They murdered Jocelyn and left her dead under the bridge. There was a bridge that will never be the same to so many people after seeing what happened. As I've said many times, the Maduro regime emptied out their prisons, sent their worst and most violent monsters into the United States to steal American lives. And they came from mental institutions and insane asylums. They came from prisons and jails. The reason I say both, they sound similar. Actually, prisons, a little bit more hostile, a little bit tougher. A mental institution isn't as tough as an insane asylum, but we got them both. They sent from their mental institutions. They sent from their jails, prisons. They were drug dealers. They were drug kingpins. They sent everybody bad into the United States, but no longer. And we have now a border where nobody gets through. In addition, Venezuela unilaterally seized and sold American oil, American assets, and American platforms, costing us billions and billions of dollars. They did this a while ago, but we never had a president that did anything about it. They took all of our property. It was our property. We built it. And we never had a president that decided to do anything about it. Instead, they fought wars that were 10,000 miles away. We built Venezuela oil industry with American talent, drive, and skill. and the socialist regime stole it from us during those previous administrations, and they stole it through force. This constituted one of the largest thefts of American property in the history of our country. Considered the largest theft of property in the history of our country. Massive oil infrastructure was taken like we were babies, and we didn't do anything about it. I would have done something about it. America will never allow foreign powers to rob our people or drive us back into and out of our own hemisphere. That's what they did. Furthermore, under the now deposed dictator Maduro, Venezuela was increasingly hosting foreign adversaries in our region and acquiring menacing offensive weapons that could threaten U.S. interests and lives. And they used those weapons last night. Potentially in league with the cartels operating along our border. All of these actions were in gross violation of the core principles of American foreign policy, dating back more than 2 centuries. And not anymore. All the way back, it dated to the Monroe Doctrines. And the Monroe Doctrine is a big deal, but we've superseded it by a lot, by a real lot. They now call it the Monroe Document. I don't know. It's Monroe Doctrine. We sort of forgot about it. It was very important, but we forgot about it. We don't forget about it anymore. Under our new national security strategy, American dominance in the Western Hemisphere will never be questioned again. Won't happen. So just in concluding, for decades, other administrations have neglected or even contributed to these growing security threats in the Western Hemisphere. Under the Trump administration, we are reasserting American power in a very powerful way in our home region. And our home region is very different than it was just a short while ago. The future will be, and we did this in my first term. We had great dominance in my first term, and we have far greater dominance right now. Everyone's coming back to us. The future will be determined by the ability to protect commerce and territory and resources that are core to national security. These are core to our national security. Just like tariffs are, they've made our country rich, and they've made our national security stronger than ever before. But these are the iron laws that have always determined global power. And we're going to keep it that way. We will secure our borders. We will stop the terrorists. We will crash the cartels, and we will defend our citizens against all threats, foreign and domestic. Other presidents may have lacked the courage or whatever to defend America, but I will never allow terrorists and criminals to operate with impunity against the United States. This extremely successful operation should serve as warning to anyone who would threaten American sovereignty or endanger American lives. Very importantly, the embargo on all Venezuelan oil remains in full effect. The American Armada remains poised in position, and the United States retains all military options until United States demands have been fully met and fully satisfied. All political and military figures in Venezuela should understand what happened to Maduro can happen to them, and it will happen to them if they aren't just fair, even to their people. The dictator and terrorist, Maduro, is finally gone in Venezuela. People are free. They're free again. It's been a long time for them, but they're free. America is a safer nation this morning. It's a prouder nation this morning because it didn't allow this horrible person and this country that was doing very bad things to us. It didn't allow it to happen. And the Western Hemisphere is right now a much safer place to be. So I want to thank everybody for being here. I want to thank General Raisin Kane. He's a fantastic man. I've worked with a lot of generals. I worked with some I didn't like. I worked with some I didn't respect. I worked with some that just weren't good. But this guy is fantastic. I watched last night one of the most precise attacks on sovereignty. I mean, it was an attack for justice. and I'm very proud of him, and I'm very proud of our Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, who I'm going to ask to say a few words. Thank you very much.
Mr. President, can you explain how the U.S. will run Venezuela?
Well, thank you, Mr. President. Finally, a commander-in-chief the world respects and the American people deserve. And as the president said, words can barely capture the bravery and the power and the precision of this historic operation. A massive joint military and law enforcement raid flawlessly executed by the greatest Americans our country has to offer. American warriors are second to none, the best in the world and the best of our country. What all of us witnessed last night was sheer guts and grit, gallantry, and glory of the American warrior. I'm simply humbled by such men. And I tip my hat to our chairman, Dan Raisin Kane, and all those Americans who stood watch last night. Our warriors are the elite of America. And again, President Trump has your back. No other country on planet Earth, and it's not even close, could pull this kind of operation off. And no other president has ever shown this kind of leadership, courage, and resolve, the most powerful combination the world has ever seen. As the president said, our adversaries remain on notice. America can project our will anywhere, anytime. The coordination, the stealth, the lethality, the precision, the very long arm of American justice, all on full display in the middle of the night. Nicolas Maduro had his chance, just like Iran had their chance, until they didn't and until he didn't. He effed around and he found out. President Trump is deadly serious about stopping the flow of gangs and violence to our country, deadly serious about stopping the flow of drugs and poison to our people, deadly serious about getting back the oil that was stolen from us, and deadly serious about reestablishing American deterrence and dominance in the Western Hemisphere. This is about the safety, security, freedom, and prosperity of the American people. This is America first. This is peace through strength. And the United States War Department is proud to help deliver it. Welcome to 2026. And under President Trump, America is back. I'd like to welcome now our Chairman Raisin Kane, to give a few more details about the operation. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Thank you, Mr. President, and good morning. Last night, on the order of the President of the United States and in support of a request from the Department of Justice, as the President said, the United States military conducted an apprehension mission in Caracas, Venezuela, to bring to justice two indicted persons, Nicolas and Cecilia Maduro. This operation, known as Operation Absolute Resolve, was discreet, precise, and conducted during the darkest hours of January 2nd, and was the culmination of months of planning and rehearsal, an operation that, frankly, only the United States military could undertake. What I'd like to do this morning is talk to you through some of the preparation and the details without compromising any of our tactics, techniques, and procedures. There is always a chance that we'll be tasked to do this type of mission again. Our interagency work began months ago and built on decades of experience of integrating complex air, ground, space, and maritime operations. While the past 2 decades have honed the skills of our special operations forces, this particular mission required every component of our joint force, with soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and Guardians working in unison with our intelligence agency
Sadly,
partners
it won't
and
make them
law
happy,
enforcement
though.
teammates
They'll just
in
cry.
An unprecedented operation.
You're correct, though, Samsung.
We leveraged our unmatched intelligence capabilities and our years of experience in hunting terrorists. And we could not have done this mission without the incredible work by various intelligence agencies, including the CIA, NSA, and NGA. We watched, we waited, we prepared, we remained patient and professional. This mission was meticulously planned, drawing lessons from decades of missions over the last many years, many missions over these last many years. This was an audacious operation
that only the United States could do. It required the utmost of precision and integration within our joint force. And the word integration does not explain the sheer complexity of such a mission. An extraction so precise, it involved more than 150 aircraft launching across the Western Hemisphere in close coordination, all coming together in time and place to layer effects for a single purpose, to get an interdiction force into downtown Caracas while maintaining the element of tactical surprise. Failure of one component of this well-oiled machine would have endangered the entire mission, and failure is never an option for America's joint force. Those in the air over Caracas last night were willing to give their lives for those on the ground and in the helicopters. Let me talk a little bit about the preparation. After months of work by our intelligence teammates to find Maduro and understand how he moved, where he lived, where he traveled, what he ate, what he wore, what were his pets. In early December, our force was set pending a series of aligned events. Key was choosing the right day to minimize the potential for civilian harm and maximize the element of surprise and minimize the harm to the indicted personnel. So as the president said, they could be brought to justice. And as the president said earlier today, weather in Venezuela is always a factor this time of the year. And over the weeks through Christmas and New Year's, the men and women of the United States military sat ready, patiently waiting for the right triggers to be met and the president to order us into action. Last night, the weather broke just enough, clearing a path that only the most skilled aviators in the world could maneuver through. Ocean, mountain, low cloud ceilings. But when tasked with a mission, this organization does not quit. At 10:46 p.m. Eastern time last night, the president ordered the United States military to move forward with this mission. He said to us, and we appreciate it, Mr. President, good luck and Godspeed. And those words were transmitted to the entire joint force. Over the course of the night, aircraft began launching from 20 different bases on land and sea across the Western Hemisphere. In total, more than 150 aircraft, bombers, fighters, intelligence, reconnaissance, surveillance, rotary wing were in the air last night. Thousands and thousands of hours of experience were airborne. Our youngest crew member was 20, and our oldest crew member was 49. And there's simply no match for American military might. As the night began, the helicopters took off with the extraction force, which included law enforcement officers, and began their flight into Venezuela at 100 feet above the water. As they approached Venezuelan shores, the United States began layering different effects provided by Spacecom, Cybercom, and other members of the interagency to create a pathway. Overhead, those forces were protected by aircraft from the United States Marines, the United States Navy, the United States Air Force, and the Air National Guard. The force included F-22s, F-35s, F-18s, EA-18s, E-2s, B-1 bombers, and other support aircraft, as well as numerous remotely piloted drones. As the force began to approach Caracas, the Joint Air Component began dismantling and disabling the air defense systems in Venezuela, employing weapons to ensure the safe passage of the helicopters into the target area. The goal of our air component was, and always will be to protect the helicopters and the ground force and get them to the target and get them home. As the force crossed the last point of high terrain where they'd been hiding in the clutter, we assessed that we had maintained totally the element of surprise. As the helicopter force ingressed towards the objective at low level, we arrived at Maduro's compound at 1:01 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, or 2:01 a.m. Caracas local time, and the apprehension force descended into Maduro's compound and moved with speed, precision, and discipline towards their objective and isolated the area to ensure the safety and security of the ground force while apprehending the indicted persons. On arrival into the target area, the helicopters came under fire, and they replied with that fire with overwhelming force in self-defense. One of our aircraft was hit, but remained flyable. And as the president said earlier today, all of our aircraft came home, and that aircraft remained flyable during the rest of the mission. As the operation unfolded at the compound, our air and ground intelligence teams provided real-time updates to the ground force, ensuring those forces could safely navigate the complex environment without unnecessary risk. The force remained protected by overhead tactical aviation. Maduro and his wife, both indicted, gave up and were taken into custody by the Department of Justice, assisted by our incredible U.S. military with professionalism and precision, with no loss of U.S. life. After securing the indicted persons, the force began to prep for departure. Helicopters were called in to exfiltrate the extraction force, while fighter aircraft and remotely piloted aircraft provided overhead coverage and suppressive fire. There were multiple self-defense engagements as the force began to withdraw out of Venezuela. The force successfully exfiltrated and returned to their afloat launch bases, and the force was over the water at 3:29 a.m. Eastern Standard Time with indicted persons on board. And both Maduro and his wife were embarked aboard the USS Iwo Jima. In closing, what we've witnessed today is a powerful demonstration of America's joint force. We think, we develop, we train, we rehearse, we debrief, we rehearse again and again, not to get it right, but to ensure that we cannot get it wrong. Our jobs are to integrate combat power so when the order comes, we can deliver overwhelming force at the time and the place of our choosing against any foe anywhere in the world. I am immensely proud today of our joint force and filled with gratitude to represent them here today. There is simply no mission too difficult for these incredible professionals and the families that stand by them and support them. As we stand here this morning, our forces remain in the region at a high state of readiness, prepared to project power, defend themselves, and our interests in the region. This operation is a testament to the dedication and unwavering commitment to justice and our resolve to hold accountable those who threaten peace and stability. In closing, I want to express my heartfelt gratitude to the brave men and women who executed this mission. Their courage and tireless commitment to our nation are what makes us strong. Thank you, Mr. Secretary, and thank you, Mr. President.
Well, I don't have much to add to what you've heard now, other than the following points. Nicolas Maduro was indicted in 2020 in the United States. He is not the legitimate president of Venezuela. That's not just us saying it. The first Trump administration, the Biden administration, the second Trump administration, none of those three recognized him. He's not recognized by the European Union and multiple countries around the world. He is a fugitive of American justice with a $50 million reward, which I guess we saved $50 million. And
We should make sure.
Yeah, exactly. But
Don't let anybody claim it. Nobody deserves it but us.
But I want to be clear about one thing. Nicolas Maduro had multiple opportunities to avoid this. He was provided multiple very, very, very generous offers and chose instead to act like a wild man, chose instead to play around. And the result is what we saw tonight. The other message here is the following. You have a guy, like many people around the world, they like to play games. You have a guy who decides he's going to invite Iran into his country, is going to, do the confiscation of American oil companies, is going to flood our country with gang members, is going to take Americans prisoner and try to hold them for hostage and trade them like he was able to do with the Biden administration. Basically likes to play games all this time and thinks nothing's going to happen. And I hope what people now understand is that we have a president. The 47th president of the United States is not a game player. When he tells you that he's going to do something, when tells you he's going to address a problem, he means it. He actions it. I can tell you, I've watched this process now for 14, 15 years, been around it. Everybody talks. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. When I get there, we're going to do this. We're going to take. This is a president of action. Like, I don't understand yet how they haven't figured this out. And now, if you don't know, now you know. Because this is the way it's going to play out. And I think people need to understand that this is not a president that just talks and does letters and press conferences. And, you know, if he says he's serious about something, he means it. And this is something that was a direct threat to the national interest of the United States. And the president addressed it. There's a president of peace, by the way. I told you what I just said earlier. This guy had multiple opportunities to find his way somewhere else and figure out another. He could have been living somewhere else right now, very happy. But instead, he wanted to play big boy. And so now, you know, he's got other sets of problems on his hands. And but I think the message here should be for the world. Look, the president doesn't go out looking for people to pick fights with. He's not generally wants to get along with everybody. We'll talk and meet with anybody, but don't play games. Don't play games with this president's in office, because it's not going to turn out well. And so I hope that I guess that lesson was learned last night, and we hope it'll be instructive moving forward.
Is that a message for Cuba? Mr. President.
Mr. President.
Mr. President.
You said that the U.S. is going to run Venezuela. So who's in power right now?
Well, we're going to be running it with a group, and we're going to make sure it's run properly. We're going to rebuild the oil infrastructure, which will cost billions of dollars. It'll be paid for by the oil companies directly. They will be reimbursed for what they're doing, but it's going to be paid. And we're going to get the oil flowing the way it should be. As you know, it was just a minor flow. It was actually a minor flow for what they have. But we're going to run it properly, and we're going to make sure the people of Venezuela are taken care of. We're going to make sure the people that were forced out of Venezuela by this thug are also taken care of.
Mr. President.
Does the U.S. running the country mean that U.S. troops will be on the ground? How will that work?
Well, you know, they always say boots on the ground. Oh, so we're not afraid of boots on the ground if we have to have. We had boots on the ground last night at a very high level, actually. We're not afraid of it. We don't mind saying it. But we're going to make sure that that country is run properly. We're not doing this in vain. This is a very dangerous attack. This is an attack that could have gone very, very badly. Could have gone very badly. We could have lost a lot of people last night. We could have lost a lot of dignity. We could have lost a lot of equipment. The equipment is less important, but we could have lost a lot. And we're going to make sure that this is proper. We're there now. We're ready to go again if we have to. We're going to run the country right. It's going to be run very judiciously, very fairly. It's going to make a lot of money. We're going to give money to the people. We're going to reimburse people that were taken advantage of. We're going to take care of everybody. It's very important. We couldn't let them get away with it. You know, they stole our oil. We built that whole industry there, and they just took it over like we were nothing. And we had a president that decided not to do anything about it. So we did something about it. We're late, but we did something about it. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, can you explain the exact mechanism by which you're going to run the country? Are you going to designate a U.S. official to coordinate?
It's all being done right now. We're designating people. We're talking to people. We're designating various people, and we're going to let you know who those people are.
Mr. President, what's the group you mentioned that would run Venezuela?
Well, it's largely going to be, for a period of time, the people that are standing right behind me. We're going to be running it. We're going to be bringing it back. It's a dead, I talk about a dead country. A year and a half ago, we were a dead country. Now we're the hottest country anywhere in the world. We're a country doing better than any country anywhere in the world. And it required leadership. Venezuela has a lot of bad people in there, a lot of bad people that shouldn't be leading. We're not going to take a chance that one of those people take over for Maduro. So you can look at, and others, we have fantastic people, including people in the military. So we're going to have a group of people running it until such time as it can be put back on track, make a lot of money for the people, and give people a great way of life, and also reimbursement for people in our country that were forced out of Venezuela.
Mr. President.
Rubio would be.
You said earlier today that you weren't going to back Machado to come back and be the opposition leader in your Fox and Friends interview. And then you also mentioned the vice president of Venezuela. Are you going to work with the vice president of Venezuela, or how do you foresee the relationship going?
I understand she was just sworn in, but she was, as you know, picked by Maduro. So Marco's working on that directly. He just had a conversation with her, and she's essentially willing to do what we think is necessary to make Venezuela great again. Very simple.
Mr. President, Colombian President Gustavo Petro, a couple weeks ago, he said he's got to watch his ass. And today he said he's not concerned about anything happening to him in the aftermath of this operation. So just what your message is
Well,
about
he
that.
has cocaine mills. And yeah, I think I stick by my first statement. He's making cocaine. They're sending it into the United States. So he does have to watch his ass.
Mr. President,
did you notify any members of Congress in advance?
Marco, do you want to talk about that? Because you were involved.
Sure. We call members of Congress immediately after. This was not the kind of mission that you can do congressional notification on. It was a trigger-based mission in which conditions had to be met night after night. We watched and monitored that for a number of days. So it's just simply not the kind of mission you can call people and say, hey, we may do this at some point in the next 15 days. But it's largely a law enforcement function. Remember, at the end of the day, at its core, this was an arrest of 2 indicted fugitives of American justice, and the Department of War supported the Department of Justice in that job. Now, there are broader policy implications here, but it's just not the kind of mission that you can pre-notify because it endangers the mission.
If I could add one thing to that, Congress has a tendency to leak. This would not be good. If they leaked, General, I think it would have been maybe a very different result. But I have to say, they knew we were coming at some point, A lot of ships out there, they sort of knew we were coming. But Congress will leak, and we don't want leaking.
Mr. President, you were one of the only people to watch this all play out live. What was Maduro doing when the U.S. forces entered what I assume would be his home? And also, was there any point where the U.S. was considering if Maduro pushed back or resisted killing Maduro?
It could have happened. It could have happened. He was trying to get into a safe place. The safe place is all steel. And he wasn't able to make it to the door because our guys were so fast. They went through the opposition so fast. And there was a lot of opposition. People were wondering, do we get him by surprise? Sort of surprised, but they were waiting for something. It was a lot of opposition. There was a lot of gunfire. You saw some of it today. But he was trying to get to a safe place, which wasn't safe because we would have had the door blown up in about 47 seconds, they say on average, regardless of how thick the steel was. It was a very thick door. It was a very heavy door, but he was unable to get to that door. He made it to the door. He was unable to close it.
So where's Maduro going to be?
Go ahead, finish.
Where is Maduro going to be in the time being right now? Do you know his exact
Well,
whereabouts?
eventually, ultimately, in the near future, he's going to be brought to New York.
And where is he going to be held? Where is he going to be held in New York? Do you know?
That's going to be up to the officials that do these things.
Mr. President, the U.S. has something of a mixed track record of ousting dictators without necessarily a plan for what comes afterwards. Did that weigh on your decision?
Well, that's when we had different presidents, but with me, that's not true. With me, we've had a perfect track record of winning. We win a lot, and we win. If you look at Soleimani, you look at al-Baghdadi, you look at the Midnight Hammer. Midnight Hammer was incredible. Right now, you wouldn't have peace in the Middle East. We have essentially peace in the Middle East because of that. If we weren't successful with Midnight Hammer, you wouldn't have peace in the Middle East. So with me, you've had a lot of victory. You've had only victories. You've had no losses. Yeah.
Mr. President, can you? How long do you expect the U.S. to run Venezuela, and how soon do you want the Venezuelan people to hold elections?
So I'd like to do it quickly, but it takes a period of time. We're rebuilding. We have to rebuild their whole infrastructure. The infrastructure is rotted. It's actually very dangerous. It's blow up territory. Oil is very dangerous. It's a very dangerous thing to take out of the ground. It can kill a lot of people. It has killed a lot of people doing just that. The infrastructure is old. It's rotted. Much of it is stuff that we put there 25 years ago, and we're going to be replacing it. And we're going to take a lot of money out so that we can take care of the country.
Are you saying that Secretary Rubio and
Mr. President, China, Russia, and Iran have interests in Venezuela. How does this operation affect your relationships with them when it comes to the oil
China
and drugs?
and Russia, Russia when we get things straightened out. But in terms of other countries that want oil, we're in the oil business. We're going to sell it to them. We're not going to say we're not going to. In other words, we'll be selling oil probably in much larger doses because they couldn't produce very much because their infrastructure was so bad. So we'll be selling large amounts of oil to other countries, many of whom are using it now, but I would say many more will come.
Are you saying
your message
Are
to the
you
people
saying
of
that,
Venezuela?
Mr. President, are
Go
you
ahead,
saying
behind
that?
you,
Oh,
please.
Mr. President, thank you. What is your message to the people of Venezuela today? Of course, the civilian population specifically, they have a lot of questions. What is your message to the people of
That
Venezuela?
you're going to have peace, justice. You're going to have some of the riches that you should have had for a long period of time. It was stolen from you. But you're going to have peace and you're going to have safety. You're going to have justice. You're going to have a country. You're going to have a real country. You're going to have potentially a great country. You know, if you go back 20 years, maybe even a little longer ago, that was a great country and they destroyed it. Remember, I said that if we lose this election, the United States will be Venezuela on steroids. That's what would have happened. Had we lost the election, the 2024 election, we suffered so badly. When you look at the border from 2020, what they did, what Joe Biden administration did to our country should never be forgotten. But if we had to go through another year of that, we would be exactly where Venezuela was in terms of, I used to say, if they win, we're going to be Venezuela on steroids. And that's what would have happened.
President, thank you. Are you saying that Secretary Hegseth and Rubio are going to be running Venezuela? And will you be sending in U.S. military
They're going
troops
to be a
to provide?
team that's working with the people of Venezuela to make sure that we have Venezuela right. Because for us to just leave, who's going to take over? I mean, there is nobody to take over. You have a vice president who's been appointed by Maduro. And right now she's the vice president and she's, I guess, the president. She was sworn as president just a little while ago. She had a long conversation with Marco and she said, we'll do whatever you need. I think she was quite gracious, but she really doesn't have a choice. We're going to have this done right. We're not going to just do this with Maduro, then leave like everybody else, leave and say, you know, let it go to hell. If we just left, it has zero chance of ever coming back. We'll run it properly. We'll run it professionally. We'll have the greatest oil companies in the world go in and invest billions and billions of dollars and take out money, use that money in Venezuela. And the biggest beneficiary are going to be the people of Venezuela. And also, I can't stress this strongly enough, the people that got thrown out of Venezuela that are now in the United States. And frankly, some want to stay and some probably want to go back. Yeah.
So,
Mr. President,
what's being done to protect Americans in the country, and were any of the detained Americans
Well, right now they're
rescued
very
last
protected because nobody's going to mess with us. They're very protected. The people of, and we let them know that you better not touch one of them.
And are you concerned that bad elements of the Maduro regime will remain in place?
Well, we know who they are. We're on them, and they're acting much differently now than they would have acted 2 days ago.
And what can you
Okay,
say
wait,
about
behind you, please.
Mr. President, why is running a country in South America America first?
Well, I think it is because we want to surround ourselves with good neighbors. We want to surround ourselves with stability. We want to surround ourselves with energy. We have tremendous energy in that country. It's very important that we protect it. We need that for ourselves. We need that for the world. And we want to make sure we can protect it. Yes, sir. Please, go ahead.
Yeah, is there a message here for Cuba and Diaz-Canel?
Well, Cuba is an interesting case. Cuba is, not doing very well right now. That system has not been a very good one for Cuba. The people there have suffered for many, many years. And I think Cuba is going to be something we'll end up talking about because Cuba is a failing nation right now, very badly failing nation. And we want to help the people. It's very similar in the sense that we want to help the people in Cuba, but we want to also help the people that were forced out of Cuba and living in this country. Do you want to say something about that, Marco, please?
Well, I mean, I just gave you a statement a few minutes ago about, when the president speaks, you should take him seriously. So suffice it to say, Cuba is a disaster. It's run by incompetent, senile men, and in some cases, not senile, but incompetent nonetheless. It has no economy. It's in total collapse. And by the way, they were, all the guards that helped protect Maduro, this is well known, their whole spy agency, all that were full of Cubans. I mean, it's amazing. This poor island took over Venezuela in some cases. One of the biggest problems that Venezuelans have is they have to declare independence from Cuba that tried to basically colonize it from a security standpoint. So, yeah, look, if I lived in Havana and I was in the government, I'd be concerned, at least a little bit.
Cutting off the oil flow to Cuba from Venezuela?
Well, the president already announced a week ago that anything that's sanctioned, it's sanctioned oil, it's not going to be allowed to get there. So that's an
The answer is yes.
Mr. President,
Is the U.S. aware of the location of opposition leader Machado, and have you been in contact with her?
No, we haven't really. No.
Mr. President, on Monday.
I think it would be very tough for her to be the leader. She doesn't have the support within or the respect within the country. She's a very nice woman, but she doesn't have the respect.
Mr. President, is it possible that the U.S. ends up administrating Venezuela for years?
Well, it won't cost us anything because the money coming out of the ground is very substantial. So it's not going to cost us
So the U.S.
anything.
isn't going to dedicate
We
the
will.
money to.
Well, we want
redevelop
safety
it.
there. We want to be surrounded by countries that aren't housing all of our enemies all over the world. That's what was happening, and you don't want to have that. But we're going to be rebuilding, and we're not spending money. The oil companies are going to go in. They're going to spend money. We're going to take back the oil that, frankly, we should have taken back a long time ago. A lot of money is coming out of the ground. We're going to get reimbursed for all of that. We're going to get reimbursed for everything that we spend. So it's going to be a very important. This is a very big evening that took place last night. We have to be surrounded by safe, secure countries. And we also have to have energy, very important. We have to have energy that's real energy, not where they're getting 4% and 5% of the energy out of the ground. You take a look, it was such a disaster. So what's going to happen with Venezuela, I think, over the next period of a year is going to be a great thing. And the people of Venezuela will be the biggest beneficiaries.
Mr. President, on Monday,
U.S. military.
Mr. President, thank you. What did you last speak to Maduro about when you spoke? And is the
Well,
US
I don't want to
at
get
war
into
with
the
Venezuela?
conversations, but I did have conversations with him, and I said, you got to surrender. And I actually thought he was pretty close to doing so, but now he wished he did, yeah.
Mr. President, can you explain? You said that Maduro is responsible for drug trafficking. You recently pardoned the former president of Honduras who was convicted of many drug trafficking. Can you explain how these two situations are different? And would you ever pardon Maduro?
I endorsed, as you know, the winning president, the man who won in Honduras. I endorsed the man who won in Chile. I endorsed the man who won in Argentina. And we are doing very well with that whole group. What the man that I pardoned was, if you could equate it to us, he was treated like the Biden administration treated a man named Trump. That didn't work out too well for them. This was a man who was persecuted very unfairly. He was the head of the country. He was persecuted very unfairly. And there are a number of them. And we felt that it was a very unfair situation that happened to him. He's also a party member of the man who won. So obviously the people liked what I did. And one of the reasons that was done is because of the fact that the party in power felt very strongly that that man was treated very badly. I studied it very quickly, and then I studied it in great detail. I went to a lot of the people standing behind me, and they felt that that man was persecuted and treated very badly. That's why I gave him a pardon.
Mr. President, you referenced boots on the ground earlier. Can you just sort of button this up? Do you envision the U.S. military having a presence in Venezuela as the U.S. runs that country?
No, we're going to have a presence in Venezuela as it pertains to oil, because we have to have, we're sending our expertise in. So you may need something, not very much. But no, we're going to be taking out a tremendous amount of wealth out of the ground. And that wealth is going to the people of Venezuela and people from outside of Venezuela that used to be in Venezuela. And it goes also to the United States of America in the form of reimbursement for the damages caused us by that country. So I want to thank you all very much. Thank you. Do you have one? Yes, please. You were so nice before. I'm going to give you the final question. Go
Thank
ahead.
you, Mr.
Unless it's a bad question, in which case I'll go one. It's about who?
It's about Putin. If you want
About Putin. Well, that's always nice.
You had a phone. You had a phone call with him on Monday. Did he talk at all about Maduro? Did y'all talk about this?
No, we didn't.
And
We
then-
never spoke about Maduro.
Are you mad at him right now? I mean, there's this
I'm not
intelligence.
thrilled with Putin. I'm not thrilled with Putin. He's killing too many people.
There was that
I
intelligence.
thought that would be so. I settled 8 1/4 war. You know what the 1/4 was? Thailand and Cambodia. I did it again. They broke out, and I did it in about 5 hours, and I settled it. I'm giving myself 1/4, so I'm up to now 8 1/4. In other words, I settled the war, but then they broke out. They had a pretty bad breakout over the last 4 days. I got them to go back to peace. So I only give 1/4. I thought the easiest one would be, one of the easier ones would be Russia, Ukraine. It's not. And they both have done some pretty bad things. And look,
That's Biden's war. That's not my war. But I want to stop the lives. Did you see where last month 30,000? It was 27,000 the month before. 30,000, mostly soldiers, were killed this last month. 30,000. I want to stop that. You know, I got NATO to pay 5% instead of the 2% that they weren't paying. They weren't paying 2, now they pay 5. And we send them a lot of munitions. We send them a lot of things, missiles and various other things, a lot. And they pay. The United States is not losing money. We're probably making money on that. It's the last thing I care about. I just want to stop all those people. We're losing 25, 30,000 human beings that come from 2 places that are very far away. But if I can stop, because it's something I've been pretty good at doing, deals, I guess. It's all a deal. Life is a big deal. But if I can stop that war and stop 30,000 young people, in addition to the fact that people are being killed in Kiev, people are being killed in other cities throughout, a much smaller number, but they're being killed, viciously killed. So I'm not happy about it. I thought that would be something that would get solved. We have Mr. Witkoff here. I think that we're making progress, but that's a war that should have never happened. If I were president, it would have never happened. Putin says it. Everybody says it. If I were president, that would have never happened. But I inherited that war. That was Joe Biden, Zelensky, and Putin. I came into the situation, and it's a mess. And I will say this. I watched an operation last night that was so precise, that was so brilliant. I mean, it was incredible. If we had our people, like this general and our people involved, that war would not have gone on very long, that I can tell you. That war, to use an old term, that war has become a bloodbath, and we wanted to get something. Thank you very much.
Are you concerned a rogue Venezuelan general to take over the country?
Can you talk about your conversation with the vice?
God, I hate these reporters. I hate these reporters. They are pathetic. And listen, I understand there's a lot of emotionally broken people right now that are really, really upset about what has happened. They're very, very upset. But I have a smoking gun for all of you. I am here to help you understand what we are witnessing, okay? I have the smoking gun for justification for what President Trump did. This is a post back in November 15th of 2025. Here is President Maduro breaks into singing John Lennon's Imagine as he talks about U.S. tensions. If there has ever been a more cut and dry case of someone needing to be arrested, I don't know what it is. All right. But this is grounds for arrest right here. There you have it. Okay. So you can't even argue it anymore. He has to be arrested. He's singing John Lennon's Imagine, you have to be arrested. Those are the rules. I didn't make it up. I did not make it up. But yeah, so obviously we have, there's a lot to unpack there. I mean, it's funny because I really like the way that Trump has to lean on Marco to do literally everything. It's very reminiscent of how I have to deal with Ryan Kennel. Trump treats Rubio like I treat Ryan, where I'm like, Ryan, can you answer this? Ryan, can you do this? Ryan, can you handle this? Ryan, can you deal with this problem? Hey, Ryan, can you run this stream? That's pretty much how Trump is treating Rubio. Rubio handles every fucking thing. Like, so funny, man. So, but anyway, with Trump saying that they're going to be basically running Venezuela for right now, you're seeing reaction like crazy. And let's see here. I got to find this one. By the way, there's that guy in the comments keeps crying about saying I need to disavow Nick Fuentes. I'll make a deal with you. Okay. If you send a $500 super chat, I'll disavow Fuentes. Okay. $500 though. It's got to be a $500 super. Now, again, I wish I could do it for less, but I'm gonna need a $500 super chat, and I'll disavow anybody at that point. Like, so you just send $500 and tell me who I need to disavow. I will do it all day long. Okay. So, can we acknowledge this is one of the greatest presidents, the pictures of the president ever? Look at this. Do you all remember when President Trump was standing on the roof of the White House taking questions from the chat? The reporters. Do you remember this? It looks like a fucking horror movie. That is insane, dude. Oh my gosh. That is absolutely glorious. I like how I said the chat. Yeah, I know. You know I'm a damn streamer when I'll just reference the chat. By the way, hey, Joe Biden, if we could get an update on this question, Joe Biden. So this is in 2020 where Joe Biden says Trump talks tough on Venezuela, but admires thugs like dictators like Maduro. As president, I will stand with the Venezuelan people for democracy. Can we get an update on that, Joe Biden? Can we get an update? Just curious about if we could get an update on that. Seems kind of relevant at this point to get an update on that one. See where you stand on that topic now. Now, again, this is an old clip of Trump, and Trump says, get even with people. If they screw you, screw them back 10 times harder. I really believe that.
Maybe I wouldn't want to. I have my friends. I have some very, very good friends, and I guess I have some very good enemies, and I like it that way somehow. And I really believe in trashing your enemies and really being loyal to your friends. I'm a strong believer in loyalty, Dan.
There are a lot of bad people out there, and you really have to go. If you have a problem with someone, you have to go after them. And it's not necessarily to teach that person a lesson. It's to teach all of the people that are watching a lesson, that you don't take crap. And if you take crap, you're just not going to do well. So be smart, be sharp. It's all about this. You have to have this to start off with. But you can't take a lot of nonsense from people. You have to go after them.
But, you know, I believe in it. Get even with me. If they screw you, screw them back 10 times as hard. I really believe.
One of the things you should do in terms of success, if somebody hits you, you've got to hit them back 5 times harder than they ever were. You've got to get even. And the reason you do, it's so important. Thank you, darling. Thank you, darling. I appreciate it. The reason you have to do it, because if they do that to you, you have to leave a telltale sign that they just can't take advantage of. It's not so much for the person who does make you feel good, but other people watch. And you know, they say, well, let's leave Trump alone, or let's leave this one, or Doris, let's leave her alone. They fight too hard. I say it, and it's so important. You have to hit back. You have to.
It's perfect. It's perfect. That's how he's running things as well. Miles for a proper 199. Says the fact that they took his wife and then left in one night means Trump is being very serious about world leaders not listening and then getting the FAFO treatment. Hail to the chief. Hail to the chief, indeed. And listen, it's time for some Sydney Sweeney to celebrate. Don't you think, chat? I think the chat would appreciate that. The proper 199, Sydney Sweeney, here to celebrate. We all like when Sydney Sweeney shows up, when we get a proper 199. That makes us all very happy. So there you have it, chat. Enjoy it. Don't get too excited. But, well, do enjoy it and get very excited, okay? Because that's how it works around here. Thank you for the proper 199. Miles, I appreciate it, brother. I want to go back to Samsung's comment right here. This should make the anti-war crowd very happy. Not only is no war going to come from this, but you could go as far as to say that this has prevented a war. But they're not going to look at it from that perspective. You know that they're not going to. They're going to continue to cry and screech and play the fake victim because this is what they do. So it's not overly surprising at all that the anti-war crowd will make something up. So we're going to, again, the emotional reaction right now is crazy. So right here, this video of Maduro's Venezuela running over and pummeling protesters is now going viral after the left takes the side of Maduro following the U.S. strikes and capture. Disgusting. So yes, this is them running over protesters in the streets. And the left is okay with that. The left is okay with that. Now again, I got my own feelings on protesters in the streets, but I don't think that the government should be running people over. But I gotta say, man, sometimes these protesters, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm on YouTube, so I'm gonna be nice. So, let's see here. Right here, the odds of Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Machado enters Venezuela by the end of the month, drops to 41% on Polymarket after Trump indicated that the U.S. would not be taking over or would be taking over for a transition period. So she won the Nobel Peace Prize. During his press conference, President Trump commented on what was next for Venezuela, indicating the U.S. would be taking over for a transition period. So I don't know what's going to happen. We got John freaking Murdoch for a proper 199. I got to say, and listen, this is the type of person I am, okay? Let me read a super chat first and then we'll mention it. But hey, Jeremy, it seems like you're almost there. In celebration of watching 47 deploying the FAFO card. Hail iDots, hail the 199, liberal tears shed over this action, and happy Jessica. Look at that. Happy Jessica. But let me say this. And this is me, like, I don't like to compliment myself very much, okay? But I think I deserve some credit. I didn't stream for a whole week because I was sick. But the true reason I didn't stream, I wanted to save John freaking Murdoch some money. I mean, how nice of a guy am I? I was just like, why don't I just not stream for a week and save John freaking Murdoch some money? What a nice guy I am. Like, seriously, I deserve a lot of credit for that. Okay? I deserve a lot of credit. Thank you, John and Miles at the back-to-back proper 199s. I'm a nice guy. I'm really a nice guy. I appreciate you guys acknowledging that in the chat. So, oh my God. We got Mike Pence tweeting out about this. Like, anybody gives a damn what Mike Pence has to say. But listen, the bottom line here is I too want to see Trump focusing more on domestic. All right. That is a legitimate discussion to be had right now. I want to see Trump focusing on domestic policies more than things like this. However, I think that there's a very justifiable argument that this is still pertaining to domestic issues. It's just not as direct as some people, want to, believe. So, but it is still affecting domestic policies. But I think the Minnesota thing has gotten a lot of people upset. Rightfully so. People should be upset about that. People should be frustrated. I get it. And I am right there with you. But the context is very important to understand that there's just so much more bullshit that goes along with it. And ultimately, getting the 2026 midterms is going to be very, very important for how Trump is going to handle a lot of this domestic policy over the final few years of his second term. So, holy crap, John, for another proper 199. Hey, Jeremy, I give you credit for saving me money. Did not expect that one. That was good. I did save you money, but like, it's very much a meme at this point. Crap, John, a proper 199. That's 3 proper 199s, 2 from John freaking Murdoch. Holy crap. Mad lad indeed. Unbelievable. We have 50 governors to help. Can't blame Trump. Well, that's the thing is like, you know, like the United States, like, if you want to, do you know who you really can blame for the problems in Minnesota? The Democratic leadership. Like, the Democratic leadership is who you blame for it. That's the problem. FMJHP with 5 gifted memberships. Thank you. Dark Schwartz rising for 50. Another 50 says, I picked a hell of a day to sleep in. I missed the New Year's stream, so welcome back. Oh, man. Well, I'm happy that you are here now. Yeah, we had a great New Year's stream. It was really awesome. Thank you, Dark Schwartz Rising. And yeah, it just felt good to be back. Like I said, I hate missing all that time. I am happy that we're finally making videos on Main Geeks and Gamers channel. I will be making more videos over there. So please, if you have not, if you've been one of the thousands of people that have unsubscribed to that channel since I stopped making videos, I am making more videos over there now. Okay. So it's going to take some time to get back in the algorithm, but, Packet Proton says, now let's get Tim Walz. Next should be easier. Chad Admiral Thrawn says, White House posted a picture of Maduro captured. Yeah, Trump posted that on True Social as well. CG says, for $500, I would disavow myself. Absolutely. Joe C says, I just read the funniest comment in the chat. It said, will you disavow Maduro for $2? Yes. Let's see. Vic Chavez says, just died in my game because I heard Sydney Sweeney and looked up. Worth it. Hey. That's what I'm talking about. Bama lost, so Jeremy took time off. Bama didn't just lose. Like, holy shit, man. Like, that was an embarrassment beyond belief. English Batcher says, here's to peace, food for Venezuelans, and more cheap energy. Emo Otaku says, we don't pay you to be nice, damn hippie. Fruit of the Mystery says, the best is they gave a nice farewell to Hugo on the way out. Nullface says, General Raising Cane, President Trump, what is best in life? Trump, to crush your enemies, to see them driven before you, and to hear lamentations of their women. Let's see. Normal Man says, the anti-war crowd should go make some breakfast for their wife's boyfriend. TJ says, every time Trump wins, I imagine the Dems are like, let's see, Yosemite Sam about to lose their shit. It's always makes me smile. I hope he just keeps on winning. Balls for T says, Dems, neocons crying in their pillows tonight. Marlon for a proper 199. Hey, Jeremy, I give you credit for taking my money. Look at how nice you guys are. How nice are you guys? Marlon Sebo for a proper. All right. You know what? You guys really, really, really like the Sydney Sweeney gift, don't you? So I guess we're playing that again. Okay. I guess we're playing that again. So there you have it. Another proper 199. That's 4 proper 199s. 4 of them. That's a lot.
Should I do it?
Do not come.
I'm going to do it.
Do not come.
I'm going to come.
Thank you, Marlon Sebo. James says the moment Trump puts all emphasis on the domestic, his detractors will complain that he's overlooking international issues with our enemies. That's the thing about Trump, man, is like it really doesn't matter what he does. These people will just make shit up to be upset about. You know, and then like somebody like me who is obviously very pro-Trump, when I do criticize Trump occasionally, then these losers are like, oh, you see, you're turning on Trump. It's like, no, I'm not. I'm being a normal person by having criticisms of someone that I generally support, but I have occasional criticism. But I criticize Trump once and they just freak out and they go, see, he's turning on Trump. It's like, what are you talking about? What world do you live in? By the way, on top of all of the other reaction out there, Elon Musk, very much in support of this situation right here. Let me see if I can find it. Because apparently Maduro was fighting to, or he was banning Twitter/X. Can't find it. Hang on. Elon's been tweeting like crazy lately. So, but Elon is back completely on the Trump train, 100%. And was this it? That one. Okay, so here's Elon congratulating President Trump. This is a win for the world and a clear message to evil dictators everywhere. Hell yeah, man. Love seeing Elon back on the Trump train. So X is blocked in Venezuela. Okay, it is. Okay, well, it won't be anymore. So 80% genius, 20% needs some help. It's the most accurate description of Elon Musk. And it's not even 80% genius. It's 80% super genius. Trump said he's an 80% super genius, 20% he's got some problems. And then Elon responded to Trump's comment and he says, that's an accurate assessment. So pretty damn great. Let's see here. Kate for 10 says the last 12 hours have been inspiring. If we can, let's see, rendition a seated dictator. Imagine how many people we can reverse out. Yeah, exactly. Out of Minnesota. Again, it's just that it's a lot more red tape involved with it. And I'm not going to pretend to understand all of the details and nuance that goes along with it, but Trump just doesn't have ultimate power. Nobody has that ultimate power in the United States of America. There is so many hoops that you have to jump through. And again, it's why we have the greatest country in the world. Yes, it creates problems, it creates issues, but that's the reason that the United States of America is the greatest country in the world. It's because we do have all of this stuff in place. Sometimes, you know, it works negatively towards what we're trying to accomplish. But this is the system we have, and it's the reason we live in the country that we live in, where, you know, there's a process that has to go through, for better or for worse. Dark Sports Rice says on FNT, I think Ryan said you had some kind of autoimmune deficiency syndrome. No telling what he said about me. Let's see. Vic Chavez says, well, I thought I had a good run going this time. Never mind. I'm dead again. What happened? Sophie says, I get some people don't like this, but fix this and no drugs, illegals, mafia is in USA. Venezuela's here and across South America celebrating, including friends. Well, Sophie, you have retarded people, okay? You have retarded people that don't like this, okay? You have emotionally broken people that listen to other retarded people online that pretend that they have all of the answers and know everything. And then those people, okay, those people then run with the same narrative that these idiots they listen to because they don't do any fucking research. That's all it is. They are not to be taken seriously. They are to be memed upon. They are to be memed upon and laughed at, okay? Simple as that. Reimler says the media will never show the footage of people in Venezuela celebrating over this, and never Trumpers will ignore it and will continue to cry. Correct. MAGA Mike says Elon never left Trump train. He only pretended. It was all planned. Trump's been cooking this whole time, and Elon was the assistant chef. Listen, I like to believe that theory, but like, come on, man. But I don't buy it. I don't buy it. But listen, I hope you're right. I hope you're right. It'd be great if you were right. But I have a hard time believing that. Let's see here. Yeah, so there's a lot of video of Venezuelans being very, very happy about this. And yeah, I mean, but the liberals don't care about that. The left doesn't care about that. The Thomas Masseys of the world don't care about that. The libertarians, the DeSantis bros, those are the people that are going to be crying about this. Never forget right here. Never forget. This is Trump versus Obama.
The United States has conducted an operation that killed Osama bin Laden.
Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi is dead.
The United States launched a targeted operation against that compound.
They did a lot of shooting, and they did a lot of blasting, even not going through the front door. You know, you think you go through the door. If you're a normal person, you say, knock, knock, may I come in?
After a firefight, they killed Osama bin Laden and took custody of his body.
He died like a dog.
But his death does not mark the end of our effort.
A beautiful dog. A talented dog.
We give thanks for the men who carried out this operation.
And I don't get any credit for this, but that's okay. I never do. But here we are.
May God bless you, and may God bless the United States of America.
And I'm writing a book. I wrote 12 books. All did very well.
Trump is so authentic, dude. It's so good. Oh, man. He's so relatable. He's not getting up there like, you know, using words that nobody understands or trying to be overly professional. He's just like, died like a dog, you know? So, let's see. Look at this. Elon Musk just fired back at Maduro, previously challenging Elon to a fight. You want to fight? Let's have it. Elon Musk, I'm ready. I'm not afraid of you. Let's go at it. Wherever you want, just say where. Elon, how did that work out for you? Brutal. Elon said at the time, I accept he will chicken out. So there it is.
Elon Musk, quien se mete conmigo, se seca. Quien se mete con Venezuela, se seca. Elon Musk. ¿Quieres pelea? Vamos a darle, Elon Musk. Estoy listo. Soy hijo de Bolívar y de Chávez. No te tengo miedo, Elon Musk. Vamos a darlo, pues. Donde quiera. Como decimos en Caracas, en los barrios. Si tú quieres, yo quiero, Elon Musk. Di dónde.
Yeah, this dude fucked around and found out. This is the definition of fuck around and find out. And you know, Elon is loving this right now. Elon is just loving this. That is fantastic to see that. All the Mochas says, glad you made it back from death's door. Take my money, feel better soon. Mucinex helps. Yeah, I was, again, so I've always said that I'm not very big on taking medicine. I'm just not, but, you know, Dayquil, NyQuil, stuff like that. David Nelson says, all your base is belong to USA. Hail the 199 and King Trump. Absolutely. Okay, well, we're going to call it there. And I will be live again tonight. So I'm making up for lost time. So I'll go live a little bit later tonight, and we'll kind of see how the rest of the day goes, and I'll kind of recap some of the stuff we've had. And then I might do a gaming stream after that. So we're back in full force. So, yeah, but today was a good day. President Trump proving to be the greatest leader, you know, the greatest president, and making the world a better place. You know, there's a lot of work to do in the United States of America as well. But they can walk and chew gum at the same time. And so I have nothing but full support for President Trump and everything that he is doing right now. So I really do appreciate all of you, though. So tonight, if you have not subscribed to the channel, I'll go live again later tonight. We'll catch up on all the other stuff that's happened. There's actually some other funny stuff that I wanted to address, but it didn't get time today. So maybe we can address that later tonight. But I appreciate all of you. I hope you have a good evening and a good Saturday, and we'll talk to all of you later. Bye, everyone.